back here to High Stakes Trading. I'm your host, Dave Coper, and in this week we're going to focus on how you can really accelerate your growth by using what I call wormholes. And we're going to be talking all about wormholes this week. And the first topic in wormholes is a topic called models. And you may be familiar with some typical models that I'm about to share. But basically the big idea here is that models can serve as a great tool for visualization. And we're going to deep dive into visualization next week. But right now I just want to focus on models and how they can allow you to conceptualize a process that may otherwise be too complex for you to understand. For example, the model of our solar system, right? This is a perfect example of how a model can serve a very useful purpose to us. And the smartest people in the world use models to conceptualize. They're not meant to be all-inclusive. They're incomplete and they're imperfect on purpose. They still serve a very important purpose to the understanding of everything. And I'm just going to tell you a brief story about how Albert Einstein used models to help him discover the theory of relativity. So Einstein said the hardest part about discovering the theory of relativity was determining how to think about it. And to reach his big breakthrough, he chose to imagine himself as if he were riding on a beam of light, as if it were a motorcycle, going 186,000 miles per second. Really. Now, that model is ridiculously unrealistic, but it served his purpose well, and it provided him with a way of thinking about things that he had never considered before, and it yielded one of the greatest breakthroughs of modern science, the theory of relativity. And once his model served its purpose, it was no longer needed, right? He used it in the moment to develop a better understanding, and then he just discarded the model. That was all he needed it for, okay? So that's a little story about how models can be extremely useful. And so modeling a process can lower your risk, and especially if you want to be successful. And I've been trading long enough that I've researched some trading models on the market, and the best ones that I could find were models where it was these 4 steps right here. So plan, test, scale, and drive. And I apologize for the crappy graphics, but hopefully you can understand what I'm talking about in each of these in each of these phases in this model that I'm calling the least risk trading model. Okay, so you start with a plan, and that's the conceptual idea of what you want to do, and then you actually have to have a prototype to be able to test your plan. And so obviously this red car here is just a depiction of maybe an idea that you had in your mind, but when you actually go to test it, you're actually building the prototype. And at first, you don't want to be too concerned about aesthetics and how it looks. You want to make sure that it can function so you can take it to the next level and scale it, and then eventually have something that is easily duplicatable and reproducible, and then you're off to the races, right? So first you plan, then you test. with a prototype. Then you can scale, and then you can go fast. Okay? So an easy way to remember this model is PTSD: plan, test, scale, and then drive. So the testing in the trading is equivalent to taking your plan to a simulated market where you're just trading paper money. And the cool thing about testing a plan is that you don't even really need a simulator. It's nice to keep track of the numbers. It makes it a lot easier. But really, you just need to write down what you're buying, when, and what the price was, right? So paper trading, it's not real money. So you can paper trade with pen and paper, literally with pen and paper, and you just say, here's the stock I would have bought this day, and then you can track your performance, okay? And then once you test a plan that you know works, then you can begin to start scaling up and growing a small account into a mid-sized account. And then once you get more comfortable and confident in yourself and your plan, then you can start to go fast, okay? So hopefully this is all making sense to you. And the action item today is I created a series of videos on how to place a trade in a trading simulator, in a market simulator. In case you're unfamiliar with market simulators, this is a good intro series of videos. And you can speed up the videos ×2. I know it probably takes you longer than 15 minutes to watch all these videos, but if you watch them twice as fast, you should be able to get it done in 15 minutes, okay? And when you're, I go slow enough that at 2 times the speed, it shouldn't be too fast, because I do try and take it slow, because this is for beginner traders trying to start up trading plans in the market. So super useful series of videos that you can find right at this link here. So once you download the slides, you can click on this link and it'll take you to 5 videos, and that'll walk you through exactly how to place a trade in a market simulator and how to automate your exit if you're unfamiliar with that. So if you've never placed a trade before, this is where you're going to learn how to do it, okay? And if you're really just not interested in that, if you're not trying to trade in a simulator, that's okay too. That's why I made this alternative action item for you. And it's just to create your own model for a reoccurring process in your life. And you want to include at least 4 phases of the model, okay? So that's an alternative action item if you don't want to watch the trading simulator videos. If you think that's going to be over your head or whatever, then that's fine. You can do the alternative action item. But I do suggest that you at least try and follow these videos, because I do make it very easy, and I show you exactly how to download the Thinkorswim simulator, which is from TD Ameritrade. Okay, so that's it. That's the action item for today, and I will see you in the next video.